This is Compound Money Quietly, the CMQ Investing podcast. My name is Chris Franco, and in this episode, we'll be discussing another counterintuitive lesson that I learned through studying the greatest investors of all time. And that lesson is this: if you want to make a fortune by investing in stocks, all it takes is one business. Over the last several years, I've been obsessed with uncovering the truth about investing. And one of the sources of truth, I should say, has been the Berkshire Hathaway annual meetings. I found this quote in the 1996 Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting transcript. It's from Warren Buffett, and it goes like this: if you look at how the fortunes were built in this country, they weren't built out of a portfolio of 50 companies. They were built by someone who identified a wonderful business. Coca-Cola is a great example. A lot of fortunes have been built on that. So remember, fortunes have been built by people that identified one wonderful business and bought lots of it when it was reasonably priced. As investors, we should try to do this. We should try and identify one wonderful business that we could buy a lot of at a reasonable price and hold it forever. Now, the bad news is it's really hard to find these types of businesses. And if these businesses are already known to be wonderful, then in all likelihood, the price itself won't be. Think of it like this. There are more than 4,000 US-based businesses that offer common stock. There's probably only 10 that have the wealth-creating potential of Coca-Cola. Here's some ideas I have just on how you can narrow down the field. So let's use some of the filters that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett recommend. You want to find a business that's within your circle of competence, meaning you're capable of understanding it. You want a business that has a durable competitive advantage. The management of that business should be high quality. They should be high integrity. And finally, since we can't pay an infinite price, even if it's the best business in the world, we have to make sure that the business is reasonably priced. That gives us a margin of safety. Now, if there is a wonderful business out there that you could potentially buy, hold, never sell, and make a fortune from, and everyone knows about it, well, it won't be reasonably priced. So I want to add a filter, and that filter is the low expectation filter. We need to buy a great business when the consensus or the herd or the majority, we need to buy it when they don't realize that the business is great. A good example of a business like this would have been Apple in 2016. You had great fundamentals, but low expectations, and that gives us a potential for a big opportunity. I have a couple more things that are just coming to my mind as I'm recording this right now. It probably would help us to look in a place where there's just less, professional investors looking and focusing on. For example, small cap stocks. There's usually less analyst coverage. There's more potential for inefficiencies that can be taken advantage of. Warren Buffett actually talked about this at the 1999 Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting. He wasn't talking about finding one business that you could build a fortune off of, but he was saying that if you want to get a great return with a small sum of money, he'd recommend beginning with these small cap stocks that are within your circle of competence. Now, another idea would be to look at businesses that are based in China. This is something Charlie Munger discussed in a 2018 interview with Li Lu. Charlie said that if you took the best businesses in the United States and then the best businesses in China, that the group of businesses that are in China are selling for cheaper. Now, none of this is investment advice. It never is. But this is sort of an investment challenge. Something that we're doing in our private group chat is I've suggested we all try to find one business collectively that meets this criteria, meaning it's one business that all it would take is to buy that one business one time at the right price, and over enough time, you would have a fortune.
Love when the celly gon' ring. I'm putting on my team. Money come flowing, no sink. Spring, 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 spring.